Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the annual meeting of the McGaw YMCA. My name is Chair Kick Hoopingarner, and I have the privilege and honor of having served as board chair in the past year. And I look forward this evening for a lot of reasons. Our goal on this 127th annual meeting is to really accomplish a few things. First of all, we want to share with you some thoughts and some reflections on what has been accomplished in the past year by this wonderful organization, with a special focus on youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. We want to ask a few individuals to step forward and tell us and share with us some stories of the impact that they feel we have made in the community in improving people's lives. Most importantly, as far as I'm concerned, is we want to give much deserved recognition to volunteers that have really gone above and beyond for this organization. We'd like to thank last year's leadership and acknowledge them, and thank people who have served on the board and done wonderful service for us in recent years. We'd also have a governance function to re-elect certain board members to second terms and elect new board members. We also want to acknowledge the election of board officers for the next fiscal year starting July 1st. But I guess we just want to end by giving you an idea of what's in store, the exciting things that are in store for this organization going forward, and we're excited to tell you that tonight. Now, one thing that's not in my formal script that's been written by a staff person is to thank the staff. And I know we have an incredible staff. And for that, I'd like the staff to stand up, and I'd like to applaud them for all your efforts this past year. I was at a development conference for the National Organization of Ys in Pittsburgh earlier this spring. And at Matt Johnson and Brian Worrell's request, I participated in a panel discussion. And when you're at these development conferences, all the staff applaud you when they hear you're a volunteer. They think that's going above and beyond. But I applauded the staff in the audience. But I went on to say, I challenge any Y in the country to have a better staff than the McGaw YMCA of Evanston. And it all starts with the top. And we have been very fortunate to have an incredible leader in Bill Geiger, leading the staff, giving them direction, giving them focus. And he will give you some comments and reflections from his perspective on the state of the YMCA. So I turn it over to Bill.
Thank you. It does feel a little bit like church. Back pews fill up first. I'd like to invite anyone who would care to come on down. You know, it's a little more comfy and cozy down here if you care to. But I appreciate your comments very much, Kirk. And I don't know that I really think it starts at the top. I think it starts with incredible staff, and we have that at the McGaw YMCA. You can be very proud of them. And I think it really starts throughout the YMCA with volunteers and staff, fabulous board, and great community support. The state of the McGaw YMCA in 3 to 5 minutes. Most of you know me well enough to know that ain't gonna happen. But I'll do the best I can. But a full accounting to you, our members, volunteers, supporters, and friends is really hard to do in 3 to 5 minutes. In a word, I can report that your YMCA is strong. Increasingly strong financially. Membership is stronger than ever. Your leadership, staff, and I mean every staff member, board, committees, and task forces, all are very strong and deeply committed to the YMCA and to our community. And our connection with and support from our community is also very strong. Beyond that, I want to encourage you to read carefully, beginning to end, our 2012 annual report when it's posted online in October. You too will recognize how deeply we impact and strengthen our community, and I think you'll join me in being very proud of your YMCA. 3 ships. No, not the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. But it's nice to have inspiration close to home. My wife, I hear her laughing out there. My wife, Beth, recently shared her vision of the 3 ships with the Women's Club of Evanston board that she is now privileged to lead in this year. Those ships: membership, leadership, and partnership. So 3 short, well, sort of short, stories. Membership. Corinthian Gibson first joined the McGaw YMCA in 2002, but did not develop that sense of belonging. She rejoined in February 2008 and continues to this day to be an active, connected, committed member. She's thrilled to report she belongs here. Blood pressure, it's lower. Diabetes no longer controls her, she controls it. Wellness, she beams as she greets her many friends and fans in the Health and Wellness Center. Corinthian, one of 13,000 members who are strong. Leadership. You're going to hear a lot about leadership tonight. I can't express how much I appreciate and admire all of the leaders of the YMCA. I thank you all. You are all leaders in this room. But there's another kind of leadership that happens every day. I'm going to read some excerpts, a story of sorts, from Sherry Medwin's letter to the Evanston Roundtable in the June 7th print edition. Just excerpts from her Ode to Evanston. The McGaw YMCA subsidized memberships for her, the person who is part of this story, and many of her family members to use the pool and other facilities. One lifeguard, impressed by her spirit, even tutored her in math for a few months. Camp Echo subsidized scholarships and welcomed her 4 summers straight, even though she could barely communicate with other campers or read a food menu her first year. This is a woman who came over as a young girl as a refugee. Camp Echo took her on as a counselor in training last summer, affording her just the sort of leadership opportunity she needed. Those 2 weeks away from home for 4 summers accelerated her development of both language and culture as they bolstered her self-confidence. When the young lady expressed interest in performing arts, Sean Tucker welcomed her into a Brilliantine musical production, often driving her home late at night after rehearsals. No matter what the dance steps were, or if they were out of sync, or if the lyrics were ad-libbed, the show's directors praised and facilitated her participation. Wow, and you think this is every day in and day out, throughout the YMCA. Simple, but impactful, strong leadership. Partnership, and those of you who have a watch, Chuck, know I have only a minute left. There's Pioneering Healthier Communities Evanston, now a community-wide commitment to the policy, systems, and environmental changes that will improve nutrition and increase activity in our youngest citizens, especially those most impacted by the health disparities in our community. There's the partnership between the board and a broad group of leaders, staff leaders throughout the YMCA, who engaged in the hard work, the questioning, the creating of strategic directions that's resulted in a new and very exciting strategic plan. We've begun to hone our focus on how we can more deeply impact and strengthen our community in youth development, healthy living, social responsibility, and address our long-range facility opportunities. There's the partnerships with other community leaders, tackling some of the 10 big ideas that resulted from the Evanston 150 process. Most notably, the work to better address the needs of teens in Evanston, teaching every child to swim, and challenging ourselves to make early learning accessible for every child. But I've got a clock on me, and some of you have that same clock on. So last story. One Friday afternoon, I emailed Dr. Hardy Murphy about a terrific opportunity to partner together. We had the chance to be one of 5 pilot sites nationwide for this summer for the YMCA Readers Program. It now impacts over 400 low-income, below grade level early readers in Charlotte, North Carolina. In their 6-week summer program, average reading levels for these kids, all low income, all behind grade level in reading, increased by 4 months. That's 4 months forward versus several months of summer learning loss, the norm for these kids across the nation and in Evanston. But we needed District 65 support, and a lot of it quickly. And I didn't have long to wait. Dr. Murphy, community leader, partner, and friend, made that commitment hours later when he and I saw each other that evening. Today, Tuesday, 32 kids at Oakton School and another 16 at our Foster Reading Center site at Family Focus had a blast learning to read. And I heard today that when we interviewed parents as part of this process, not interviewed, but talked with those parents, 95% of those kids' parents reported they had no plans. No plans this summer for those kids. And so we made those plans. You'll hear more about McGaw Y readers later this summer. So membership, leadership, partnership, all strong and getting stronger. Thank you very much for your support.
Thanks a lot, Bill. Moving right along, we'd like to share with you some thoughts and reflections from some leaders in the community that have really worked with us in making an impact. And when we talk about making an impact, we're not taking it lightly. We are walking the walk. We're not just talking the talk. And throughout the past year, I've tried to stress to people every time I had a chance that your McGaw YMCA is your community's activist that is reaching out to try to help people who really need help.